Hello everyone, I'm Grandmaster Priyadharshan Kannappan and you're watching Chess Gyaan in 3 minutes. And the topic that we're going to be talking today is stalemates. So before we go what is stalemate, let's look at the definition of stalemate. So the definition of stalemate is that it's a position counting as a draw in which a player is not in check but cannot move except into check. Sounds like a confusing definition. A practical example would, I think, would give us more clarity on what exactly is a stalemate. So we have the position on the board here and it's black to play, and this is one of the most often occurring stalemate, the king and pawn versus king setup. So here, if let's say it's black to play, if the king goes anywhere to e3 or e2, one of these two squares, let's say the king goes here, white would just simply capture the pawn. So, and then this is just a king versus king and a draw. So basically what happens is that black cannot go here, and so let's say black goes king g3 and is now defending the pawn, but unfortunately he has closed the escape squares of the white king, which were these two, and now as white cannot enter these two squares and white cannot enter these two squares also because the pawn is controlling them, there is no escape square for the white king. But at the same time white is not in any check. So this is what we mean when there is no check and there is like no escape squares for the king and there's no other pieces, or even if there are other pieces, if they cannot make any legal move, then it becomes a stalemate. So this is a very good example of a stalemate. So let's look at another example of a stalemate. So in this position over here, it's white to play. So let me flip the board, and if you can look at it, it's like white is a piece down. There's like white has only a bishop, black has a knight and a bishop. So if you're playing white here, I would highly suggest you to pause the video and think about what you would do if you're playing white, and if you can see any stalemate tricks or stalemate ideas. Generally stalemate is played when you are in an inferior position, so that you are trying to save your like half a point from, instead of getting a 0, you're trying to get half. So stalemate is generally a very tricky idea, and here in this game white played this fantastic move, bishop to e2. So the point of it being white is threatening the d1 knight and also the g4 bishop, and if black captures, which is what he did in the game, now what happens is that the king cannot escape anywhere, the white king on e1, because all the squares f1, f2, d2, e2, d1 are all under black's control, and the white king is not in a check. So basically we ended up in a stalemate. So this is the second example. So let's look at one more example of a stalemate over here, and here it is black to play. So let's flip the board again, and this pawn is going here. So if we leave white a move or two, white would consolidate his advantage and white would end up winning. So black has to do something very quick, and black played this fantastic move, rook takes f6. The point of it is if king f6, it's a stalemate as the king cannot escape any of these squares, and after rook f6 the game ended in a draw. So we looked at a bunch of examples of stalemate, and I'll come back next episode with more examples. Till then, subscribe to the channel and I'll see you later. Bye bye. Signing off is Priyadharshan.